Next one. I fucking love this idea. I absolutely love this idea. The curse of psychological strength. Everyone has a limit, right? And an end to the amount of discomfort that they can cope with. And this is obvious physically. Some people can lift more and run further than others, but how much emotional pain or upset or disappointment that a person can endure is subtler, harder to detect. It's not apparent in the size of someone's arms, but in the capacity of their nervous system. It's not a weight that you can see on a squat rack. It's their ability to carry a heavy emotional load. And this psychological strength can be a good thing because you're able to handle more than most. You don't balk at pain. You keep pushing through regardless of how you feel. But too much strength can be a weakness. And high performers are particularly vulnerable to this trap. Psychological strength is rewarded almost everywhere. In the gym, it's discipline. In business, it's grit. In public, it's composure. You become the person who can handle it, who doesn't complain, who pushes through when others would quit. Basically, your ability to ignore how you feel and keep moving forward earns admiration, builds your career, and creates momentum. But what you are praised for in public, you often pay for in private. Relationships don't reward endurance. They require attunement. And if your default strategy in life is to absorb discomfort and override warning signs, you will do exactly that when someone repeatedly hurts you. You'll rationalize it, reframe it, decide that it's your job to make it work. And the stronger you are, the longer you can stay. What looks like strength from the outside becomes self-abandonment on the inside. You've trained yourself to believe that struggle is noble and difficulty is meaningful. So when love feels destabilizing, it doesn't register as a warning. It feels like a challenge. And challenges are your thing. But a relationship isn't a marathon to be endured. It's a place to feel safe. And the qualities that make you formidable in the arena can quietly make you miserable in your own living room. Let's say that you're dating and you feel like a side character in your own relationship. You put them first, they put you sixth. The rupture is regular, the repair is absent. Lower resilience, less stubborn people would have broken long ago and said, I'm out. But not you. You're the David Goggins of psychological suffering. Forget carrying the boats. You'll carry the whole fleet forever. In these situations, you're faced with a much tougher problem. Not how much can you tolerate, but how much do you want to tolerate? Perhaps this is what you had to do as a child. If your needs weren't noticed, your sadness gets ignored, or your feelings didn't matter, then you became accustomed to pushing through disconnection in order to make those relationships function. If child you learns, I need to work hard to be loved, then adult you believes, if I'm not loved, I just need to work harder. You achieve 10,000 hours of ignoring your own needs. You can't tell people how you feel without first worrying about how it will make them feel. You unconsciously believe that suffering is the price of connection and that silent subjugation is noble. You basically think, I should be able to tolerate the intolerable in order to make this work. And when you try to connect with someone who doesn't see your needs, you don't notice this person isn't attuned to me. Instead, you sense, this relationship pattern feels familiar. This must be what love is. You have been trained at your core that your needs don't matter. So you always must work to prove your worth. And importantly, if you don't have to work for it, you think that you can't trust it. So you push away people who are easy, ready, and open, and instead you pursue those who are distant, and difficult, and disconnected. I have to prove that I'm worthy of loving. is a theory that becomes addictive and completely disorienting. The psychological strength that once enabled you has now entrapped you. The capacity to endure emotional pain without protest is what happens when your nervous system learns that discomfort is safer than confrontation. And in totality, this obscures your ability to understand what you do and don't want to tolerate. Perhaps your ego doesn't want to admit defeat, and shame spirals in this way. If you believe you are the problem, you also have to be the solution. So you stay, you tolerate, you try harder. But just because you're suffering doesn't mean that you're noble. It just means that you're suffering. No one is going to congratulate you on your deathbed with a medal for never making a fuss. No one is going to thank you for quietly lifting weights that should have never been yours to carry. And the answer isn't less resilience, but less denial. Because a boundary isn't an intellectual decision. It's an emotional limit. And if you can't feel it, you can't enforce it. Psychological strength doesn't always make you strong. Often it just makes you stay too long. And you risk one day waking up in a life that you built entirely around what you were willing to tolerate, and then you finally break.
If you learn how to tell a story, it gives you powers you didn't have in all sorts of places. In this class, we're going to talk about the elements of story and how you might start a story. If you get better at it, you get better at life. One of the things that will strike you about my books is that almost every subject was someone who was basically ignored. So pay attention to the unusual, powerful interest you have in other human beings. That's the gold. I'm Michael Lewis, and this is Masterclass.
I think this is